Welcome to episode 669, Philippe Laffont, 9 Lessons. This is an outline of episode 669, lesson 1 to lesson 5. This is an outline of episode 669, lesson 6 to lesson 9. Lesson 1, if it is a big idea, you can understand it in 10 minutes.
Where we are looking, because we're very transparent. I think investing in tech is so simple. It's all about like coming up with big ideas, and whenever someone pitches us a tech idea that I'm like, wow, this is 10 minutes, I can't understand, it rarely turns out to be a monster idea. So
2, invest in new economy, not replacement economy.
basically, tech is most interesting in the consumer side, and then also, so we like the tower businesses because you're going to need so much more spectrum, you're going to need to have more towers to connect. So anything related to broadband. The theme that we don't like as much anymore is the people that make smartphones and iPads. Just because, look at the room here. Everyone has a smartphone, everyone has an iPad. Yes, an iPhone 6 or 7 is going to come out, but it'll replace the iPhone 4 or 5. Feels more like a replacement market. But
Lesson 3, long-term thinking is his edge.
But for the average person, you have to be ready for the fact that things are not going to be as expected. And how do you prepare yourself to deal with the unexpected? Back to the question around the investment philosophy, like many people at Tiger, for us, the key to investing is thinking about how can a company perform 3 to 5 years out? Mm-hmm. What can be great investments over 3 to 5 years? Not focus so much on the short term. Try to see the forest from the trees. Think about the long term. Few people in the market think about the long term, and that's our edge.
Lesson 4, PhDs are smarter, but they make less money in investing.
There are some unbelievable tech investors that also have not studied tech, so I'm not sure whether having studied technology and investing in it, if it helped, most PhDs would be great investors, and thus we would all be put out of business. I think the PhDs are much smarter than us, but investing, I think it's a different set of skills.
Okay.
Lesson 5, in 2011, he was almost implicated in insider information scandal because, like other Tiger Cubs, he used expert network. Now here's an explanation of an expert network. It is used to contract out to well-placed managers, research and engineers, and sometimes they charge up to $1,300 an hour. Lesson 6, Tiger Cubs is the shortcut to success because it provides training and seed money. Here's the picture of the old and original Tiger Julian Robertson. Here's the picture of the young Tiger Cub, Philippe Laffont, in 2019. Lesson 7, things come around in full circle.
When I graduated from MIT, I desperately tried to get a job at Apple Computer, and I interviewed 3 different divisions at Apple Computer, and I got turned down all 3 times.
Huh.
Now, 20 plus years later, I've sort of built our fund in part thanks to investing in Apple that's done so well. So it just shows how sometimes you do get the things that you want, but maybe through a different door.
Lesson 8, how to spot the short stocks.
It so happens that it's much easier to disprove things. So for instance, on the short side, if you find a company where the stocks come from 1 to 100, and the company has 1 product and 2 customers, and the CEO is selling a lot of shares, you're like, maybe that's a good telltale. And if there's enough red flags, sooner or later, it's like a sandcastle. If there's like too many bad pillars, sooner or later the castle crumbles. Okay. So the short side is more about pattern recognition and seeing a lot of odd things, and if there's enough odd things, that leads you to believe the company's wrong.
9, spend 50% of time on out-of-beaten-path ideas. You are passionate.
That I would have for people is you need to do 2 things when you graduate. You need to do them both passionately. You need to do one thing passionately that is the obvious thing that you're supposed to do after you graduate. So if you want to go in business, going to Goldman Sachs or Morgan Stanley or McKinsey is probably an obvious one. but then really dedicate your wealth for 2 or 3 years to take and learn the most that you can from there. At the same time you do that, in my mind, you need to do one thing completely off the beaten path, but also passionately, because some things come through the regular channels, also some things come through completely different channels. You never know. So in my case, I was
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave your questions and comments below. Do you have other favorite Tiger Cubs, such as Chase Coleman? Wishing everyone peace and prosperity.